We have mentioned yesterday that the halachot for challah, to take challah from bread that is made from the 5 type of grain, which is the hita, se'ora, kusemet, shibolet, shuar, veshifon. These are in Hebrew. They are, the wheat, the barley, and the spelt, and also oats and rye. Those are the ones, if you make a dough out of them for the purpose of baking, whether if it is baking cookies or baking bread, then the Torah tells you that you are supposed to give challah like you give maaser with it from all the other ingredient from Nishtabcha Ba'emet Israel, that Eretz Israel is famous for, that mentioned the 7 species. Now, when you come to these grains, you make a dough, put the flour in with water, you make a dough, you have to give a part of it to the Kohanim, and that is what he called terumah. And now you have to say a bracha before, and so on. But now we are going to, it's very interesting because now you have to know what does the Torah say, how much dough you have to make so that you can take challah from it and give it to the Kohen. So how do you calculate that? You know that in the time of our rabbis, before in the Mishnah, in the time, they used to calculate everything according to what they could see and calculate with. They had all the time to calculate. They had fruits to calculate. You have tamar. You have a kazait. You have all those things. The more or less you know what it is. They calculate according to that. They put the measurement. There is also measurement. The pinky, measurement of the thumb, measurement of tefah. With the hand that was available with them. Now with time, because it was very difficult to calculate with that, that's all they had. In the time of the Rishonim, they tried to calculate. Rambam brings this, and he said that what the Torah mentioned that you have to have at the measure is kab and a half. Called tisha kabin. Kabin telatav, when we say the Pitum HaKetoret, that's a kab and a half. What is a kab and a half? So, according to the Rambam, he says that you have to wait, and it is, he brings a coin that is very, very important, that they could measure with something that is consistent, doesn't change. And they used to have for over 1,000 years in the Muslims' kingdom. They used to have what we call the coin dirham. Dirham used to be. We will see that the dirham used to be like 3. It was 3 grams, and used to be silver. It to have a certain weight, and according to that, they calculated what it is that has to be the measure of the dough that you make, so that you can take out challah and say a beracha. If it is less than that, you cannot do it. You won't say beracha, or sometimes not only, you don't even take challah for it if it is a lot less than that. But there is a medium amount where you just take out the challah, you don't say the beracha. And then there is an amount where you have to say the beracha as well. And that is not so simple. There is a discussion, different of opinion, and we'll talk about that tomorrow.